Well, the former guest I just had on just before you, Michael Badnarik, who talked about the U.S. Constitution and how the U.S. government, since Roosevelt, hasn't really followed the Constitution. And if the American people start realizing what's happening, then there's going to be a gigantic revolution within the streets, is what he was talking about. So
one thing I'd like to grab just off of Roosevelt is because I just watched Camp FEMA, and I can't speak highly enough of the production value and of the quality of that film, is that people tend to forget, or maybe they don't, or maybe they were never taught, period, but we rounded up 100,000 Japanese Americans, or I should say Americans of Japanese descent, under FDR. This, supported this fake liberal, he implements martial law and puts 100,000 people in camps for the extension of the war. That was 3 years at that point.
Well, the same thing that was done up here to the Japanese Canadians, the Germans, the Italians, Chinese that wanted to immigrate to Canada had to pay a head tax. Kevin's sitting right across from me. He can tell you about the residential schools where over 50,000, Native American children were killed by an institution set up by the federal Canadian government, run by the churches, and the list goes on and on. And we also had Operation Paperclip brought in members of Nazi members to Canada and the United States, and actually there was Ann Diamond, a past guest that I had on Kevin's show when I was covering for Kevin one time, and she was talking about how someone was telling her there was experiments done in the 50s, and they remember seeing an SS tattoo on one of the doctors, and this was a Canadian government experiment.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. When you get at the end of the day to the real story is that Nuremberg was like a front trial. We needed to make sure that we got Nazi doctors, both of the mind and of rocketry and aviation sciences. For the reason that if we don't get them, the Soviets will. I mean, we brought some of the most serious and murderous and heinous war criminals here or into Latin America and protected them, for 20, 30, 40 years to this very day. And it's sort of just don't read that part of the book.
You've heard of Unit, I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong there, Kevin, I think you've probably heard of this too. Unit 751. It's out of China.
Unit
Japan.
431, and the experiments in the Japanese were doing on live test subjects. Yeah,
and every single one of the Japanese scientists involved with that, none of them were held accountable for war crimes that they did against the people.
Yeah, they went to work at Fort Detrick, Maryland, on the bioweapons programs.
Crazy. Hey, I think we might be running out of time. Is it possible I could just do a quick verse that your audience might be interested in?
Oh, sure, please.
All right, and then I'm just going to do a couple of shout-outs, and then we can get back into anything you guys want to talk about because I'm so excited to be on. But it goes something like this. I was born of the ashes of fallen towers, truth set to melt the shills and the cowards, molten lava at the base of the World Trade Center, because they had put options on flying swords to rake in the cheddar. Blessings to the families of all the victims. Your questions fell on deaf ears, so we break with rhythms. Devils in the White House and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they ran away with the oil and the no-bid contracts. On the verge of the axis, we forsake their tactics. Stop paying taxes to these blue and red fascists. I stole the Iron Man suit from the Tony Stark vault and bring the victims in Haiti water, not an armored assault. Military industry got it popping and locking. Revolution on the rise while Obama's been dropping. More lies and fake garbage for the cameras that watch him. Drug laws keep all our brothers locked in. Met a corporate hydra that lay down beside you will pump you and dump you or just crucify you. So get with the people because they're going to smoke out the bandit. And you can dump all the white czars that are lining your cabinet. Shouts to the Source Farm, rest in peace, tipsy soldier. Above the clouds forever, Jah hands now hold ya. I'm really about this hip-hop. If you ain't trying to notice, hit the stage after KRS-T Dot was in focus. I'm always on the mic, man. I'm never on the block, which is why I get better and have to touch no rocks. Purple in the vape so that I can escape. Double my pace and I spit on these breaks. Stand for something, die for nothing. The only choice you'll ever make. It's Truth Now. Hit me up, Twitter, at Truth Now Music, all that stuff. And I just wanted to say big ups to third party, saywordentertainment.com, Kamikaze Picnic, and BS. I got a project coming out with this MC called BS. It's going to be called The Truth About Bullshit. And it's really cool because he's he doesn't go down the rabbit hole like I do, so he kind of keeps my feet on the ground, and we're working on, like, you know, meeting in the middle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, beautiful, brother.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And also, what happens is if you can, any projects that you do put on CD, if you wish to.
Oh, I'm sending you as soon as my album drops. It got put off because of, like, a couple of different things. Like, I didn't really know maybe what I was getting into exactly, but I do want to come out with about 7 solid tracks. It'll be this spring. I'm not sure exactly when, and you guys are definitely getting signed copies like we talked about last time.
Yeah, and also if you were talking about your cousin too, if he wants to share some CDs, we'd be more than willing to hand them out as gifts if he wants to send us some autograph stuff during the fundraiser.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let me really shout him out. Jordan McLean is in the Sway Machinery and Antibalas and in Fela on Broadway, and the Sway Machinery just played the festival in the desert in Mali. So he just got back. He's really tired. We just had a business meeting last night at like 2 a.m. But if you go on YouTube, check out the Sway Machinery in Mali, and it's amazing.
Well, thank you so much for coming on there, Truth Now. Is there some final words that you'd like to share? Because we have about a minute left, and then I'll get Kevin to jump in and say some words too.
All right, sure. Yeah, just everybody that I can think of that's listening to this, I mean, just don't be intimidated at all. I mean, I've heard some rumors, and I don't want to have any real part in fear-mongering, but keep your heads up because you know that they like to stage terror attacks at the Olympics like they did in Atlanta. Be on the lookout for that, and just don't take their shit because it's not. It's only if we let them that they're going to have like some stupid world government thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right, brother.
Would you like to say some words in closing there, Kevin?
I can't say anything better than what you just did, brother.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, real quick, Twitter.com/TruthNowMusic, and I just started a blog. People can catch up with me on my blog at truthnow, one word, .tumblr, no E in Tumblr, .com.
Well, thank you so much for coming on there, Truth Now. Co-op Radio 102.7 FM, CFRO, with Monday Brown Bagger. My name's Reginald Angus Argue. Again, this is archived on my website at angus-mcleod.com. And thank you so much till I talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Have a great day.
You too.